Hello, I'm Bill Corbett. Welcome to Balance America Now. And here again, we're sitting here with Gary Barve. He is running for the 23rd District in West Palm Beach, Florida, for the Congress. So today, here we're on our second segment.
Yes, sir.
And, well, Gary, I'd like to talk to you more about your opponents.
Okay.
Give us some enlightenment, because a lot of the voters don't know what they're dealing with when it comes to other opponents. They don't hear a lot of the behind the scenes stuff like that. So if you could enlighten us a little bit about that, or just give us an idea what are you running against.
Yes, sir. So thank you again, Bill. It's great to be back on the second segment of the incredible Balance America Now show, and it's great to be with you as well, Bill.
Well, we thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir. I'll quickly introduce myself since this is a new segment. My name is Gary Barve. I am a youth supporter of our President Donald J. Trump, a proud Republican of the Republican Party that belongs to our President Donald J. Trump. And I'm running for United States Congress in Florida's 23rd District against Democrat Moskowitz and against the establishment Republicans to help President Trump make America great again, keep America great, and save America. And I'm running because I love President Trump. I love our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. And I love our great American people, and I want to help President Trump make America great again. And to answer your question, Bill, I think in the previous segment, I spoke about the incumbent Democrat, Moskowitz. He's a horrible Democrat. I will talk about the Republican primary election in this segment. I have 5 opponents, and you have endorsed our campaign, and I appreciate it.
Yes, we have. Yes.
And we have 5 opponents running against us in the Republican primary election, which is going to happen on August 20th, 2024. And 3 of those opponents are Joe Kaufman, Carla Spalding, and Darlene Swaffer. And I call them weak opposition because these 3 opponents have filed for office, got on the ballot, run for elected office, for federal office, for U.S. Congress in the previous many years. Put together, they have run and lost, got on the ballot, run and lost 10 times, according to a news report put together. And so we can't have that. I call them habitual losers. We can't have that. We want someone who's on the ballot for the U.S. Congress election for the first time. I'm on the ballot for the U.S. Congress election for the first time, and we're running a very strong campaign. And I'll tell you what, I also believe that the 3 candidates that I just mentioned, Carla Spalding, Joe Kaufman, and Darlene Swaffer, I call them dull candidates. And I'll tell you why I call them dull candidates. I've looked at some of the media interviews, especially that Carla Spalding and Darlene Swaffer have done. And they literally put the audience to sleep. It's probably one of the most boring interviews on the internet right now. And we don't want that. We want someone who has the gravitas to defeat Moskowitz. And then the 3rd candidate that I mentioned, the opponent, Joe Kaufman, I was at an event very recently in the last few days, and Joe Kaufman was giving a speech, if you can call it that, if you can call it a speech. He looks at his notes, first line, he reads the first line, looks up, recites the line. He looks at the next line, he then looks up and recites the line. For the most part, that's basically what happened. And it was not a speech that had gravitas or was interesting. And so I believe he's also a dull candidate. And then the other 2 candidates that are running against our campaign in the Republican primary election is Robert Weinroth. I call him Rhino Robert Weinroth, or Rhino Weinroth. And the reason I do that is because he used to be a Democrat until recently. Robert Weinroth, used to be a Democrat until recently, and I don't think he really supports President Trump, and I believe he's got no shot. I've had a lot of people come up to me, Bill, and tell me that Weinroth is a Democrat plant. And so
I would
yes,
have
sir.
to believe that. I've heard that. That's going around. And, a lot of your opponents that you're running against there, I remember the names, but I got to say, folks, lately you see the name Gary Barve out there a lot. So he's getting traction. And, he's getting traction not because he's a bad candidate. That doesn't happen that way. He's getting traction because he has a message that juvenates with people. People like the message. And I got to say, I talked to Gary and I talked about a lot of the policies, and he is definitely an American that we can really stand behind.
Thank you, sir.
He is for us. He is for us. We are number one, and we need people in office like that, because we can't send our money out of the country like we talked about the last time. And a few of your candidates you're running against there, I don't really see them talking about the important policies. It baffles me why they're even still trying.
Well, I'll agree with you on that, Bill. And I will also say this. I've made a campaign promise. I said this during the previous segment, that I will vote with President Trump 100% of the time when President Trump becomes the 47th president of the United States of America. And I do believe that I am the most supportive of President Trump candidate in the election. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I mean, I'm fighting for President Trump in a way that none of the Republican primary election opponents are fighting for him. And, I'm, like I said, I've said it on my campaign social media, I'm running because I love President Trump. And, I'm taking on Fannie Willis and Fat Alvin Bragg. I call him Fat Alvin. I'm taking on Jack Smith, Judge Mercan, and all these really, really bad people who are destroying our country. And I'm doing that fearlessly, and I'm not saying it in a pompous capacity. I'm doing that fearlessly because I love President Trump, I love the country, and I love the fact that President Trump is fighting for our country in a way that no man has fought for our country before, Bill.
Well, look at what he's going through lately with these trials and everything, and with yesterday's decision, with him being indicted on these counts. He's a past president. And these things.
Well, I'll say he's still my president, but I'll let you continue.
Okay. Well, I agree with you. I honestly, I tend not to hold to a party line thing because I like to stay a constitutionalist. But I don't like saying the word President Biden. I don't. It doesn't go together well with me. It's just one of those deals, So what I was getting at here is that, Donald Trump has changed America. He's changed the way things are. He's brought to light, he opened people's minds. Like it or not, whether you like Donald Trump or not, the reason you're talking about Donald Trump is because Donald Trump did that. He opened your mind. And you can listen to all the stuff that you want about him on a negative level, but I got to say that without even speaking or thinking, life was better. Our bank accounts were better. Jobs were better. I'm in business, been in business my whole life. And I got to say, Donald Trump is definitely a president that I would vote for. He's definitely a president that cares about America.
Yes.
And even if you didn't like him, he's still a good businessman. He still did the job for the country. So you don't have to like your president to do a good job for the country. And that's just how it is. And I got to say, Gary here, we were joking in the studio here earlier. If we had $1 for every time Gary mentioned Trump's name, we'd be rich. So obviously this man loves Trump.
Well, I love Trump, and I'll tell you what, the fake news media such as CNN and MSNBC do a tremendous disservice to our country, and they truly are the enemy of the people. The fake news media truly is the enemy of the people, and I'll tell you why. If the American people realized what President Trump has done for our country, what President Trump is doing for our country, and what President Trump will do for our country as the 47th President of the United States of America, in an unbiased capacity on the news, you will have an even bigger resounding victory for President Trump on November 5th, 2024 than the one that I'm expecting. And so, look, President Trump is clearly the man who's going to save America. And I'm very happy to be a humble supporter of humble American supporter of the greatest president of the United States of America, President Trump.
Well, I would believe that, and I would hope that all the Republicans out there, once President Trump gets back in the presidency, I would hope that they had learned their lesson from the last time and they stay away from all the political games and just get the job done for the American citizens and do it right. Because, I, like many, we're just getting tired. We're getting tired of it. I'm a constitutionalist, and I feel that you got to follow that Constitution. And I feel that the party lines, because of this craziness, have fallen apart. So at this point, we only have one choice, but to follow a party line that makes sense for us. And Gary here, he definitely makes sense for us. And if you're watching this and everything, and you're in his district, you got to vote for the guy. He's the guy to vote for.
Well, I'll tell you what. Bill is a great patriot. I've gotten to know Bill really well, and Bill is a great American patriot. And Balance America Now is a great organization as well. And I know for a fact that Bill cares about the American people and wants elected officials to put the American people first. And that's how it should be, right? You look at the Democrat Party, they're not putting America first. They're putting America last. I'm talking about the elected officials, not the constituents. I'll make a controversial statement here. I believe many Democrat constituents, not the elected officials, many Democrat constituents
The voters.
are great people. The voters are great people who love the country, but they're misguided by the fake news such as CNN and MSNBC. But the Democrat elected officials are not putting America first. It's the President Trump supporters who are putting America first, like you, Bill. We're the ones who are putting America first, and that's how it should be. We are representing the American people, and we're representing our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. And so I tremendously respect you, Bill, and I appreciate your support.
Well, I respect you, Gary, and I give you a lot of credit. I give you, like I said the last show, I'm not sure I'd want to do that and everything. As you get older in life, you tend to want to take it easy, and I find myself very unrested. I don't really want to rest. I don't feel our country is going to be safe for my kids or my grandkids and their kids growing up. Before I leave this earth, I want to make sure that we fix this thing.
So you're saying we have another 500 years to fix things, right? Because you're going to live a long life, Bill.
Well, I tell you, 500 years, I don't know.
No, I was tongue in cheek, but look, we fix the country. I'll tell you when we fix the country, Bill. November 5th, 2024, when the American people deliver the real verdict, not the New York sham court case verdict. The American people deliver the real verdict, which is electing President Donald J. Trump as the 47th President of the United States of America. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, that's it for them. They'll be out of office on November 5th, 2024.
There's one thing I wanted to bring about to the American people. There's a lot of things about Donald Trump that a lot of people don't know. Donald Trump moved into the White House, and he used a lot of his own money to fix things. Did you know that? I read a lot of articles about this, and I thought, geez, that's just unusual. But then again, you look at the things in the past that he has done to help people before he even ran for president. He's obviously a person that don't want people talking about what he does, because he doesn't do it for credit. He does it because it's the right thing to do. And that's what I'm saying. People that go around and they say they don't like Donald Trump, they don't even know him. They haven't met him. They don't, but yet they'll have a person like Biden in office, for instance, and everything. He sits there, he's numb. He doesn't really have a personality. He's a very sick man, and really, his wife is called a doctor. If she's an actual legitimate doctor, she should be brought up on charges for negligence, with a senior. I mean, it's crazy to let her husband do this. So, and that's aside, that's the truth. I mean, if you look at it and everything, that's a bigger charge than what they just did with Donald Trump.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Look, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, I'll say this. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Moskowitz are un-American. And like I said during the previous segment, this Democrat Party elected officials, they have left the country behind. And we're going to fight for our country, and we're going to make America great again. And so that's where it's at. And
well, I believe that and everything. And remember, people, you got politicians that keep running over and over and over again, and especially like Gary here has pointed out, his rivals there. on the Republican side that are running for the ticket. You know, they've done it so many times. Obviously, they didn't get the message that the people just don't want them. You know, sometimes you just have to accept that. You know, people just don't want that. You know.
Well,
And,
I'll just comment. I'll just comment on your previous statement, Bill, where you said, maybe there are some people in the country who don't like President Trump. I'll tell you what. I wear the Trump hat everywhere I go. It's not just during interviews. Almost everywhere I go, I wear the Trump hat. And almost all the time, I get thumbs up signs and positive responses. The country is with President Trump. Take that from me. The country is with President Trump. And I'll also share with you, if you're okay with it, Bill, I'll share with you the story about the first time I met President Trump.
sure, let's hear it. Let's hear
I
it.
was
Interesting.
I was at the Trump International Golf for an event, and President Trump was playing golf. I saw President Trump was playing golf, and he's a great golfer, by the way. And it was a tremendous sight because I didn't know this, but President Trump drives his own golf cart. And I think that's very humble of him. But it's a great sight because President Trump's golf cart is going, and you have 6 or 7 Secret Service golf carts following him around everywhere. And so he plays 18 holes golf, and that's takes tremendous energy and stamina. He has more energy and stamina than I have, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
But he plays golf, and then he comes to the restaurant area of the Trump International golf course. And I'm at the lounge area, and I see him walk outside. And I'm the first one to see him. There are a lot of people at the event. I'm the first one to see him. So I walk up to him and I say to him, President Trump, I love you, and I've run for elected office as a huge supporter of you. And he sort of looks at me. He's taller than me. He's 6'3", I believe. I'm like about 5'9". And he looks at me and he gives me a friendly fist bump. And we do a friendly fist bump and he says, okay. And then I want to obviously continue the conversation. But a lot of other people come in and they have a conversation, want to have a conversation with President Trump as well. But that's the time I met President Trump, and it was a great moment for me.
Well, he's a real person. He's a real person. He may have all that Richie stuff around him, but he's a real down-to-earth person. I mean, the only place I've ever eaten a hamburger in a restaurant was in a Trump Doral underneath a $400,000 chandelier. So I've never done that before until I went to Trump Doral, And I'm guessing about $400,000. That's what some of the people that are actually in that business, at least the fellow claimed he was. And the bartender didn't disagree. So, so who knows? But I got to say, knowing Trump, he likes quality stuff and everything, and that's why you just know he's going to do a quality job.
Well, he's an all-American man. I'll just say it. He's an all-American guy, all-American man, and he's the most successful man on earth. I mean, I'll explain why I believe he's the most successful man on earth as well. You look at his business, right? A multi-billion-dollar successful entrepreneur business. In the real estate world, and also in a lot of other businesses as well. Then he writes many best-selling books, right? Think Big. I've read Think Big by President Trump 4 to 5 times, and it's after the Bible, it's my number 1 book. Then he has The Apprentice, which is the number 1 hit TV show. Then he becomes the 45th president of the United States of America. And by the way, he also has the number 1 hit music song, which beat Taylor Swift and a lot of other people, and it was number 1 on the charts. And so the J6 Choir, I believe that's the song.
I didn't know that.
So he's the most successful man on earth. But you know why I love President Trump? I love President Trump because he has had a tremendous personal impact on my life. I don't know if I've shared this with you before, Bill, but I went through a tremendous clinical depression-related illness in my life. And I was down and out. I was completely down and out. I struggled, and I've made a complete recovery now. I don't take any treatment. I've made a complete recovery, but I was down and out, and I was really battling for my life. And I started watching President Trump's videos. There's a video called 10 Rules of Success by President Trump. And I watched it so many times, and I started reading his books and watching his interviews. And it inspired me, and he inspired me, not just to fight for my life, but to fight for my country. And so that's the reason why I really love President Trump at a personal level. There's a deep connection there. And I believe, that's what has motivated me to run for office and fight for our country, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. So that's, I mean, I love him for many other reasons as well, but from a personal perspective, this is the reason why I really love President Trump. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Well, I got to tell you, Gary, and people, I got to say, Gary here has motivation like you wouldn't believe. Sitting here talking to Gary is a breath of fresh air. He has actually a lot of more motivation than he says. I actually think his motivation has got to be close to Trump's, because the man is.
Thank you. Wow.
He's pushing hard.
That's a great honor. Thank you.
He's pushing hard. He's succeeding. He's becoming the popular candidate for the area down there. And Gary, when we do see you in the 23rd district, the Congress, we're going to have to make sure we stay in touch and everything, and keep this up. We'll have you on our show lots, once you're in there, and you can tell us about everything that's going on and all the backdoor little secrets and all that stuff that, people like to hear, the juicy stuff, Well,
so. I really appreciate you, Bill, having me on your show. And check out Balance America now on the internet as well. And it's a great organization, and I would encourage you to take a look at it. And like it says, join the movement now. And again, I've made a campaign promise, like I said, Bill, that I will vote with President Trump 100% of the time. And I believe President Trump will always keep America first. And I will also always keep America first. And I think, Bill, that is how you think as well. Keeping America first, keeping the American people first. So I think this is great alignment, and I appreciate you having me on the show.
Well, it just goes to reason I've been accused with ex-wives that I like to keep myself first. So, so that would go about, what it is, keeping America first. So.
Well, you're an American, Bill, so,
that's right. That's right. That's just how it goes. Anyway, Gary Barve, people, for the 23rd District of the Congress, please tell the people now how they can support you. It's very expensive to run for these offices, and the candidates need your support. And if you want a good candidate in there that's going to think about you and make sure that your family is comfortable with living, and all this craziness comes to an end, this is the candidate for you. So, Gary, tell them how they can go online and look you up and support you.
Thank you, Bill. So before I share that, I will just say, if you support President Trump, I am the obvious choice. I'll say it very confidently. I am the obvious choice in this election. I believe I'm the biggest President Trump supporter in the country. I wanted to say in the district that I'm running in, which is the 23rd District, U.S. Congress in Florida. But I believe I'm the biggest President Trump supporter in the country. And so if you liked what Bill and I had to say today, please visit our campaign website. It's www.garybarveforamerica.com. That's Gary. Barve is spelled B as in boy, A as in America, R as in Republican, V as in victory, E as in elephant, foramerica.com. So it's www.garybarveforamerica.com. And if you would like to contribute to the campaign, that would be great as well. If you want to volunteer, you can send an email to me, and would appreciate any support. And again, want to thank Balance America Now and my friend Bill for having me on their incredible show. And thank you so much.
And before we end here, we couldn't have done this show without Taken TV. I want you to go on there and look up Taken TV. They do a great job for us, and they supply all the cameras and the know-how and everything to make this happen. And Gary, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
And we wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to win. You're our guy.
Thank you so much. And the American people are my people, and I'll always keep America first. That's my promise to you.
God bless America.
Yes, sir. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you.